Welcome back to another video, and I want to welcome you once again to our XRP analysis. This is a special one because in the previous video we did a full breakdown of XRP, and now we are going to be taking a look at what kind of entry and exit points we could indicate from these levels. Of course, in the last video I talked about it quite a lot, about what the decent levels and things were to take into account, but I never really shared too much of a trade. At this moment, for this video, I am going to be doing that. And if you like these content, if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because this will help us get the content out more evenly and become a bigger channel with more people like you who can all have an opinion on these charts. Having that said, I would like to conclude with I'm definitely not a financial analysis, and I'm just taking a look at what the charts present me. I would like to give you a full toolkit, what you can expect and what you can do with the XRP chart at this moment. Spoiler alert, at this moment, in my opinion, the best trade is just to stay still, especially if you are a more longer term trader and if you would like to trade high probability areas. I think we are now at a equilibrium. I think that we are now at a very important point, which is indicated by this small triangle. Why do I think that it's such an important point? I think it's an important point because it is the 50 monthly moving average, which is known as the confidence indicator. When you go above it, you will usually keep increasing, and when you go below it, you will usually keep declining. As you can see, we are now right on that area, so it's make or break. Whether we break it to the upside, we will see a lot of upside momentum, and if we continue downwards, we would probably see some more downwards momentum. And I'm not even just going on solely one indicator for this. I'm using the resistance support lines that we've drew earlier, but I'm also taking a look at the moving averages. The moving average on the weekly time frame as well. The 200 weekly moving average is also coinciding with this area. The 50 cents area therefore is a very interesting and important zone. As you can see, we've also have the red area. The red area is the 50 weekly moving average, and this is also located just above the 200 moving average, giving us a very small area for trading actually. If you would like to see, I would like to be able to make some small lines in the charts. Let's see if you can reference it as well. Let me also get back to drawing that beautiful bullish wedge, which made us believe that XRP was going for new highs. Bullish flag, bullish wedge, it has the shape of both, I would say. This is a huge breakout pattern. We saw it, we retested it, and we are now all the way up. From this point on, there are not really very many patterns to spot, except for this W pattern I also explained in the previous video. This W pattern has had the area of interest at around 50 cents. So I would say that this pattern is also complete. However, that still gives us the neckline. And I think the neckline is going to be the important thing taken away from this double bottom pattern. At this moment, as said, we are at a resistance level. Going down to the deeper time frames, we would love to get a clear view, but at first we would like to get the longer time frames to give us an example of where to entry and where to exit and what the general trend would be. Based on the yearly, the trend is bullish. Based on the 6 month, it's bearish. Based on the 3 months, it's stalling, and I think it would be declining if I had to be honest. On the weekly time frame, the monthly time frame, excuse me, we have just had a huge bullish engulfing candle. And when we get a bullish engulfing candle like this, you can see it back in July 2020, it usually means that the sky is the limit. Therefore, from the monthly time frame, I would like to suggest that we are slightly bullish, taking all of the longer time frames into account. The weekly time frame, it's kind of in a resistance zone, but we could still be bullish. Daily time frame, we are starting to show and pop up above the 200 moving average, which could lead us to new highs. The most important thing here, as said in the previous video, is the resistance zone we have right here. The best thing that I would like to see, and one of the most high probable areas I would like to see, is going towards that 65 cents. But 65 cents is a long way to go from 50 cents. It's quite an increase. How would we get there? We would get there for aiming at the 50 moving average. The 50 weekly moving average to be precise. But when we are on our way there, we do have some resistance zones in our way. But we also have some support zones. As I drew right here, that's the most important one and the low of our little box. Closing this as a weekly bullish engulfing would make the case easily for touching the red line. the weekly 50 moving average. Going from a daily perspective, we could argue that we are now breaking out of a bullish flag, but I am not so certain about it because I really do not like the shape of it. It's not the best shape. I've seen them, so I would not really go after that. What do you want to see then? Well, a breakout above this resistance zone. So a breakout above, let's say, 52 cents, a clear breakout above 52 cents would make the case for an easy shot at 58 cents, at towards the 60 cents area, which would mean that we would straight up show it and break above it. This would, in my opinion, make the case for the weekly bullish engulfing very, very easily. If we have this, we could go down around 50% inside that candle, which would mean that if it would be to happen inside this candle, we could still go towards, let's say, 45 cents before breaking higher, but let's suggest that that won't happen because we would already be forming this support resistance flip. From this area, if you seen our previous video, you would know that a support once broken becomes a resistance, and a resistance once broken becomes a support. So that would give us the case that this would be the new support zone. Based on that, I would love to see for this to happen. So we would get a touch of the support, confirming it as support, and then going towards the 64-65 cents area. And then seeing what will happen as soon as we get inside of this little, or this pretty big resistance zone. From there on, it would be very hard to say. What would happen with the macro climate? What would happen with the XRP climate? What would happen with the SEC case? What would happen with... There are so many factors that are going into account when you're taking a look at this. However, at that moment, we could and should be back above the 50 weekly moving average, on top of being above the 200 moving average. If we were to able to break, I would say, the 65 cent zone, then we would be back at pretty high levels, because as you can see in most of the charts live, we have not been able to sustain the price above this area. You can see just a few small weeks we have been able to be above it, and we have been especially above it in 2017, 2018, and we have had a small portion of time above it back in 2021, 22. So this is really the area that we have built price on. So if you were to say the next resistance zones, you could be able to draw some lines right here. You could also be able to take a look at the higher time frames to see whether there are going to be some resistance support zones located there. I would like to say that we've got a little line here because this is the last weekly top, and a line here because that's the last monthly, the last monthly top. Besides those areas, there wouldn't really be much to worry about. So as soon as we've had a weekly bullish engulfing candle above this red weekly candle, then the next interesting zone would be between 64 and 85 cents. After breaking that, I think the sky is the limit if we were able to breach this zone. But mostly after breaking this, it would be very easy for us to spot long patterns. From now on, I would suggest and say that we are probably going to be looking at bullish setups, because at this moment the price, in my opinion, is more bullish than bearish. So we would love to see some support right here before targeting this one. It probably won't break on the first attempt, maybe not even on the second one, but on the third one I'm definitely sure that we would be able to go for higher areas. I do realize that I'm kind of being a moon boy here if you're taking a look at it, but this is honestly my technical analysis, and I think that this is pretty decently done, because based on this technical analysis, I would suggest that you could earn €1 per XRP bought right now. Sorry, $1 per XRP bought right now. But this is, of course, with the very important statement that there have to be, that the zone between 85 and 64 cents needs to be broken. As soon as this happens, it's almost a guarantee towards 90 cents, and in my opinion 90 cents won't be that strong of a resistance before targeting the highs, the previous highs. And as you guys could already mention, as soon as we are able to go towards the 150, 160 area, it could be time for aiming for the new all-time highs, because these resistance zones are not the strongest at all. So altogether, for the longer term, I'm pretty bullish. I would love to see some things happening before we can go to the sky, but it seems to be lining up all pretty well at this moment. Longer time frames, I would suggest start looking at higher time frame confirmations and start to look for long positions. For the shorter time frame, I think there's a lot of room for errors. I think there will be a lot of noise with the XRP chart, especially around this top resistance area. This top resistance area could also still give us a break. But as mentioned previously, from the shorter time frames, what you would like to see now is just a support of this zone. This uptrend line will be one of the more important ones to get us upholding. And you can see that we are currently testing it as well. This would be the line that could set us above it. And if we won't be going above it, then you could do a short-term short, but I wouldn't suggest it because the longer term is bullish. But if you would like, you could get a short-term short towards, I think, say, around 0.48, 0.47952 before you would get started to worry again. This would be pretty much a guarantee. Shorter term, I'm going to be keeping my hands off of it. Longer term, I suggest we are going to be building a position because we could be going for new all-time highs. I hope you guys have learned something about this video. I would love to hear what you guys think, and also would love to hear why you guys think. So not just, okay, XRP is going to the moon, XRP is going to $4, XRP is blah blah blah. I would love to hear XRP is going to $10 because of this and this and this pattern, or this and this and this indicator. They're all aligning. Let me know what you guys think about this video, and I would love to see you in the next one.